All right, so we're speaking into weird mics, but we're feeling good. It's 1 o'clock here, but we can't feel it because I'm still at 10 o'clock. Although tomorrow morning we get up at 5 o'clock, and that's 5 o'clock New York time.
That's right.
So, well, actually, no, we'll get up at 6, right?
Which is 3 o'clock our time.
Right, okay. So
go do a daytime TV show.
Keep in mind, when you're rolling over and scratching yourself at 2:45.
We'll be up. If you're on the West Coast, west of the Mississippi.
That is right.
But just think how we love daytime television.
All right.
Oh,
good morning, New York. I'm going to be delightful. I'm going to be...
That's what I'm thinking about.
My plan is to chain smoke and praise Hitler on camera the entire time. All right, so... You ready to get rolling here, Drew?
Yeah, let's go right to the calls. We're going to Chelsea first. Chelsea is 21. Chelsea, what's going on there?
I don't know how to get guys to, date me without having to have sex with them first. It's like if a guy wants to go out with me and I'll say, let's take things slow and go to a movie or whatever, then they say, see ya. And so then I say, okay, I'll sleep with you. And then they hang around for 2 or 3 months and just bang me and then leave. And then I've gotten attached to them and it's real hard to break up. What am I doing
This has
wrong?
to be a bogus call.
Well, if it isn't, be careful. Yeah, that was my first reaction too. But
what do you mean bogus call?
Hang on, hold on. How many guys you been with like that?
About 20.
How old were you when you lost your virginity?
It was kind of taken from me when I was 3.
That's sounding right. What year were you born?
Okay. There we go.
All right, let's go home.
Starting with that, let's go.
Listen, and how many times do I got to tell you a-holes who call this show in with your bogus calls? Please show us, have the dignity to do 2 minutes of homework before you call the show in. Do you know what I mean? Like, even when I was going to buy beer when I was 16 years old, and I'd go into the liquor store with the Armenian guy behind the counter because I thought there's a cultural difference and he wouldn't be able to guess. I would still work out the year I was born.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't go for...
You'd in fact have taken some aspirin and scratched out your age and penciled in the appropriate year on your license.
No, I just mean I'd have an answer. I'm not talking about doctoring up the ID. I'm just saying I wouldn't say I was 21 because that sounded... too close.
Too convenient.
But 25 was too old, so I'd go for 23. And if it was, 1980, I was doing this, then I'd work the math out. You understand? And people that call this show us the same respect. The same respect I showed the Armenian guy behind the counter at the liquor store.
Let's talk to Burl next. This will cheer you up, Adam. Burl's 30. Burl, what's going on?
Hey, Loveline guys.
Hey, Burl.
How's it going?
Good.
Well, I caught John Hyatt on some PBS thing last night, and I couldn't help but notice the striking resemblance between him and you, Adam Carolla.
Oh, please.
And I thought maybe he could be your dad, because you never really talk about him.
No.
Not the case?
No, I love John Hyatt. I wish he was my dad. But unfortunately, it's not the case. But I hope you enjoyed his song stylings anyway.
I loved it. I'm becoming a fan by the day.
Good. It was one of the biggest thrills of my short career to have the legendary singer-songwriter John Hyatt on the radio show. And I made it happen, and I was very happy about that. And I have the picture of he and I, arm in arm, on my mantle. But no, he's not my dad.
Let's go to Sarah next. Sarah is 15. Sarah, what's going on there?
I'm 15, and I haven't got my period yet, and I was wondering why.
Some young ladies will have delay in puberty. That's certainly a reason, and it's not something you should be ashamed of or concerned about. In fact, there is some correlation, it's been a long time since I've read this data, but between late onset of puberty and actually living long, longevity.
Really?
Okay. Yeah. Now, do you have other sort of normal secondary sexual characteristics? Do you have hair development and that sort of thing? Yeah?
Yeah.
Your breast development?
What's the secondary sexual characteristic?
Other than having a vagina or a penis, having hair in appropriate places, breast development, that sort of thing, hip and
right.
It makes men, women.
Right.
You having all that going on, Sarah? Any other problems? Any medical problems? Any medication?
Mm-mm.
Nothing like that.
Well, she sounds like a little girl, though.
Well, but again, it may be a delayed onset.
Right.
That's certainly.
When's it usually come in? 13, 12?
12, 13, something like that. Have you talked to your doctor about it?
No.
You might want to, just to be.
It's the same caller we had. It was 21 and amorous.
No, it's not the same one.
Okay.
It's similar. All right, so you gotta get it checked out just in case. There are a number of other problems that can cause this. There can be genetic problems. There can be uterine problems. There can be problems with ovarian function. There are many different categories of problems that can cause delay or no onset of puberty, or rather menses. But in all probability, it's just a delayed onset. Okay.
Okay.
All right, talk to your doctor about it. Thanks, Sarah. Josh is 14. Josh, what's going on?
Hey, first I want to say, Adam, you kick ass.
Thanks.
And I was going to ask you, my brother for, a couple years was, really, really addicted to, pot. He couldn't go, without a day without smoking it. And, I started up when I was, 13. And now, I'm kind of worried, I'm going to do the same thing and get kicked.
Are you doing it every day?
Yeah, twice a day.
Twice a day. We already are doing the same thing, aren't you?
Yeah, but I just don't want to do.
You don't want to end up like your brother?
Yeah, or something.
Yeah, but you smoke more pot than he does.
No, he doesn't. He's stoned 24 hours a day.
How old is he?
19.
Josh, let me tell you some interesting data that I read about. The interesting study I read about 15-year-olds smoking pot. It showed in 15-year-old males who smoke pot, even at a lower level than you're smoking it, the front part of their brain on the right side didn't develop over a year. Actually kind of shrank. All right? What's that?
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask, too, because, I'm, getting depression, almost every day, and that was,
Of course.
I started doing that.
Of course. It's a little bit even early in the game to be getting those sorts of symptoms.
Hey, but Drew, when they do those pot studies, don't they always have the people that are involved with the studies smoke a kilo or hay bale?
No.
How do they figure that out?
They just it's people who smoke pot moderately, which they define moderate, once a day, that sort of thing. They then ask them if they'd willing to get MRIs a couple times a year. That's all they do. And they'd have them document what the amount of pot they've smoked, and which is hard to get them to do, of course.
Right.
And then take MRIs, and they showed one study was really quite good. And it was consistent with my experience with people that smoke a lot of pot, that basically the brain either doesn't develop the way it's supposed to, or at least, or possibly even is damaged. And so you actually lose brain matter. The brain that you would use in the normal developmental process isn't even available to you. So it's not just that you're using the pot to cope with things that you might have to otherwise be challenged to developing coping strategies for. Your brain can't even respond to it structurally.
But isn't it true that most teenagers who smoke a lot of weed are of a super genius IQ in the first place, and therefore it only brings them down to a medium IQ?
You've spoken to a few of them. What do you think?
I'm going with no.
All right.
Unless they'd actually club themselves with the bong.
All right. And the other thing about marijuana, it is a tough drug to stop. It's almost always in the setting of alcoholism. Not you being an alcoholic, but a family history of alcoholism. And the treatment really involves some sort of 12-step process.
Well,
Marijuana Anonymous, and God knows he has depression now. And there's a lot of stuff going on here, Josh. Please talk to some healthcare professional with some experience with this, because there is.
Could that affect you sexually?
Of course.
Okay.
Just depression can affect you sexually. I'm sort of thinking we just got a rash of bogus calls tonight. I don't hear daily pot in Josh. Do you?
No, I don't. I don't hear twice a day.
No.
Although the part about his brother, who's 19, smoking a lot of weed is sort of good, specific information that makes me tend to believe him.
Yeah.
But even if he's lying, there's other people who are young who smoke a lot of weed.
That's why I'm getting into it.
And listen, here's the deal with pot. Everybody takes one side or another. Drew actually dipped the microphone into his cup of coffee.
Exactly.
Speaking of marijuana abuse, everybody. He took he's only had one bong hit in his entire life, but he never exhaled. And that was his problem.
Never recovered. Why do you think I talk so negatively about that drug?
Here's the deal. pot's not inherently evil. Neither are cars, neither is alcohol, but a lot of people die in cars, and a lot of people die from alcohol.
Let me even go further. All right,
go ahead.
Neither are threesomes. Neither are a lot of the things that people do that are not healthy for them. It happens to not work. It may feel good when you do it at that moment, but it happens to be harmful to you. I wish it weren't. Hey, maybe somebody's nirvana is a place where people can have fivesomes and smoke marijuana all day and be happy and no consequence.
Yeah.
That'd be great. I have no problem. There's no moral issue to me at all. It's just that it doesn't work. It causes human suffering and ill health in the even intermediate term or immediate term sometimes.
Right.
So there you go. Okay, we're going to go to Christy, 23 right now. What's on Christy?
Christy?
Hi. Wow, I'm surprised I got through. You guys are awesome.
Thanks.
I wish my call was bogus. My question is about methadone. I have this crazy boyfriend that I've been dating since high school, and he has been in and out of rehab twice, I guess. We broke up for a long time. Now we got back together, and he was completely clean.
He's a heroin addict?
Yeah, smoking heroin. So it's like
smoking or shooting, it's all the same.
Yeah,
same disease.
I know, but it just because you don't see it like that, it's kind of hard. Anyhow,
by the way, for in and out, twice is not for a heroin addict in and out of treatment. That's just a couple attempts at treatment.
Really?
And most heroin addicts take several brushes with the treatment to really get it.
Okay,
yeah, but how many people smoke it?
A lot.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. He was clean for over a year, and then he relapsed and lied to me I went on for about a month, and of course, I'm with him all the time. Of course I saw it. And called him on it, and we got him in the detox program. So he's on the detox program for 21 days, and then flipped out completely at the end of the detox. Just couldn't handle it, was having bad thoughts, and went right back and got in maintenance. So he's been in maintenance for like a month.
Maintenance what?
Maintenance, like they bring him down as he pleases. So he's been on...
Maintenance methadone?
Yeah. He's been on...
Has he been on methadone before? You only said... You never mentioned methadone. You said smoking heroin.
He was on the detox program, methadone detox program for 21 days. And
right,
then...
methadone is a disaster.
Oh, I know. And it's scaring me because he went on it for 21 days and then he couldn't kick the methadone. So
listen, of course he doesn't kick the methadone. He also starts chipping on heroin while he's coming down. Methadone is profoundly addictive. It's worse than any other opiate I know of. People can sort of keep their house of cards together for a lot longer on methadone than the shorter acting, more euphorogenic drugs like heroin. But getting off it is I treat addicts every day. And the worst drug to treat is methadone. The worst. Sometimes the withdrawal can last up to 8 weeks. So it's a miserable drug. And I assure you, he's not even detoxing. He just probably boots himself up to 80 milligrams. And then once he gets down around 30 or 20, he starts chipping with heroin again, right?
This poor bastard's got to smoke it. And that's damn near impossible because methadone's a liquid, right, Drew?
He doesn't smoke the methadone.
Oh, he doesn't?
But am I right? That's what he does?
Every day between certain hours and get it. You get your little cup.
Yeah, but then he chips on the heroin anyway.
No. I mean, I know, I see his bank account. Like, I know how much money he spends. Like, there's no way. There's no way he can be doing anything.
All right, hold on a second.
Remember,
let me talk to Drew for a second.
Okay. You've been the enabler for the last 5 years. So
I know.
So,
believe me, hold on, quiet down over there for a second, Christy. If he knows that you see his bank account every day, he's not an idiot.
Right, that's right.
He's not going to go to the ATM and leave the receipt lying around on the coffee table and scribble for heroin and put the date above it. Number two, I see these things on like 2020 and all that profile methadone, and they always talk about what a success story it is.
Please.
I don't hear horror stories about it except from you and the people who do it.
That's right.
But the media doesn't... Let me yell for just 1 second here. This is one of the big problems with this government's policy on drugs. They look at methadone as a big success story. And the reason they look at methadone as a big
people aren't doing heroin.
Success story is they're not doing heroin.
Yeah.
But it's just a title.
Yeah.
So they're hooked on something else.
That's right. Absolutely.
They're just so delighted that it's not heroin and it's not stigmatized like heroin, and they get it from a doctor's office. They couldn't be happier. But the point is they're still hooked on it.
Let's be somewhat fair. I mean, the pharmacology is different and the biological effects are different. And so there are some reasons to use it. I mean, the people that are untreatable, You can sort of keep them pieced together with methadone and make a life livable.
He's kept his job.
I mean, methadone
he's kept his sanity for right now. So he's been.
Yeah, but he's a young man in his 20s, Christy. Right? He's in his 20s.
Oh yeah, he's 24.
I mean, he should be treated. He should be thoroughly and completely treated, unless there's some confounding factor that makes it unlikely or impossible for him to be successfully treated. He has no resources. He has no jobs. He has psychiatric disturbances that make it impossible. I mean, opiate addiction in that age should be treated. I mean, his life expectancy is shortened even on methadone. And it's no reason he should go through his life loaded on methadone.
Why are you hanging out with this guy for so many years?
Well, you don't know the whole story. Anyway, I don't.
The whole story. Let's paint the whole story.
Do the whole story.
The whole story is my parents were addicts, and that's.
No
what?
way. My dad's a cop.
No?
Like, I come from, I'm from Orange County.
The other way.
This is not, like, his parents are like the wealthiest people I know. Like, you guys would be shocked. I mean,
by the way, Christy, was the other thing I was going to yell about.
I got hooked up with the wrong people because that's...
No, Christy, hold on a second. This is the other thing I was going to yell about. The producers of our television show pulled me into their office the other day. You've got to see this videotape on heroin. I go, oh, interesting. There's something new on heroin. It's a, expose on CBS News. Amazing news. Heroin is being smoked and shot by upper middle class youth. For crying out loud. I mean, that's been going on for years, and it is in fact as common as any other drug right now. I mean, the heroin is just there. People are using it. They're not thinking it's as dangerous as it is. It is exceedingly common in all areas of their society right now.
Where was I when they pulled you into the office?
You walked in.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
No. What I want?
You yelled about coffee or cheese or something.
I wanted a stereo. And then I left. All right. So, who cares about junkies? I need to listen to a CD. So Christy, who's, I guess Mike put on hold, by the way.
Wait, I want to get her back on because Christy, here's the deal. Did you participate with him in any of these treatments? Did he ever go to treatment program?
Oh yeah.
Did you participate?
Really good treatment programs. And I've been there.
You've been there.
Part of it. I mean, we're broken up for half of it, but the last half, yeah. And I go into treatment with them now.
Did you follow the directions?
Part of it.
Christy.
Yeah.
Did you follow the directions?
Yeah. I mean,
so you go to Al-Anon. So you go to Al-Anon every day now.
Pardon?
Oh, true. You go to Al-Anon every day now.
No.
Wasn't that one of the directions?
Every day?
No, Al-Anon.
No, I don't go every day.
Wasn't that one of the direct?
Well, no. I mean, this is an outpatient program. Like, it's not like an inpatient, like you're locked down, like they give you the freedom, and that's almost the scary part. But that's not my question. My question is that
Christy
tells him, like, he can allot himself so much methadone every day. Like, they bring him down, the doctor brings him down. So now he's on 5 milligrams, which is like nothing. It's pretty much like
he's
sick all the time anyway.
I'm sure he's smoking heroin too, though. I'm sure of it.
Really?
I guarantee you.
Even though I see him sick and I see him all the time, I know. I'm
just telling you. Okay.
All right, go to Al-Anon, Christy. Would you
got to go to Al-Anon and get a sponsor, and you got to work a program. If you don't work a program, he's never getting better. I promise.
All right.
Okay?
Yes, I'm answering for her. She probably dropped the phone and ran to her local Al-Anon meeting.
Out loud. It's just so sad. I mean, imagine her dad, the aggressive, intrusive.
Listen, my dad's a cop is right up there with my dad's a priest. You know what I'm saying? I get scared. I really do. And nothing against cops, but they don't have a great track record.
With their kids, you mean?
With anybody. They got a high suicide rate. Probably have a higher than average. Probably plenty of drug abuse.
Oh, yeah.
And plenty of physical abuse. I don't blame them. They got a tough job. They got a lot of stress. But the kids, I know few people that are kids of cops, the worse than any criminal their dad has ever handled. Believe you me.
The kids are.
Absolutely.
Oh, man, what is that? That's so sad.
Well, think about it. My dad's a pussy. He doesn't know his way around. He doesn't know a crescent wrench from a half-inch drill.
And you're into...
So I'm nuts with the tools. Now, the buddy who I'm visiting here in New York, his dad's is a mechanical engineer, and he's a pussy. He doesn't know anything. You see what I'm saying? You go the opposite.
Oh, my God.
My dad never played a sport. I was always into sports. Whatever it is.
There's got to be a balance there somewhere, you know.
Your kids are screwed.
Because they're going to be lazy.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Lazy. They're going to be lazy womanizers.
Screw around with their wives. You want to go
All
to break, or you want to take another?
Well, let's just sell Cyrus and we'll take a break.
All right,
Can we
Cyrus.
do that?
All right, Cyrus is 14. What's going on, Cyrus?
Hi, I had a question about just saying, you guys always say bad relationships with moms equal bad relationships with women. And
I don't know. Bad is the right word. It's just that if it will have effect on your relationship when you start dating.
If you're a guy.
Well, I just because my mom's a manic depressive, and it's been causing some problems with her family and different things. Not only with women, but does that affect other aspects?
All right.
Good
Hold
enough.
on. Yeah.
All right. Well, Cyrus is on hold. We'll explain the effect that his manic depressive mom has had on him and will have on him after this break.
You have 5 seconds.
Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
2.
Back in a minute.
1.
Hey, this is John Hyatt, and you're listening to Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew on Loveline.
There's my boy, John Hyatt. All right, it's Loveline. We're in New York. Everyone else is in L.A. Phone number. Well, the Loveline crew.
All right.
Phone number, 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number, 310-854-4455. When we left off here, we're speaking to Cyrus, who's 14, mom's manic depressive, and he wants to know how it's going to affect his future relationships. Cyrus, are you there?
Right here.
Hard to predict, actually.
It is?
Hard to predict. Yeah, it is hard to predict. I mean, it doesn't condemn you to dysfunctional relationships, but it's certainly... It depends on the quality in which she related to you and how you manage her illness.
Well, wouldn't I seek out something? Would that be something I would do, like seek out someone just like that?
You might expect, Cyrus, that if indeed your mom put you in this position, you would be a caretaker. And you're part of particularly if this happened when you were a lot younger, your mom would go off with her manias. You would get frightened by that and try to find ways to kind of contain her and keep her under control and to be sort of feel empowered in relation to her so she doesn't get away from you or out of control. And you might seek that kind of thing out in relationships when you get older, but you might not.
Well, the fact that you're calling and asking at 14 is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Because when I was 14, I just stared at my scrotum sack.
No, you Playboys. Oh, you find it attractive?
Stare at the Playboy, stare at my scrotum. Look back at the Playboy, look back at the scrotum, and then I'd move the Playboy closer so I could see my scrotum and the Playboy at the same time. But I never thought about this.
But this lasted till you're about 27, right?
Well,
27, 28, yeah.
Okay.
Well, some pretty serious things happened to other members of my family.
Like what?
Not to go into that much. Brother tried to commit suicide at one time.
So he had some mental illness also, right? Some psychiatric problems.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Well, just don't want to go into it that much, but just problems moreover.
So a lot of instability, a lot of illness in the family, right?
Yeah. But,
okay.
Just odd things happening or odd characteristics of the rest of my family.
All right. How are you doing?
As far as I know, I guess I'm doing okay.
You starting to have relationships with girls?
Not
really. Are you interested in girls?
Excuse me?
Are you interested in girls?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, 14 is the time to start. You'll see. I mean, we'll see what you're attracted to. Just pay attention to who you're attracted to. I mean, Adam and I have learned through years of doing this show that attraction is not something to be trusted necessarily. I mean, it's something that can be a foundation for a relationship in an ideal world. But in our world, it tends to be the sickest part of one person attracted to the sickest part of another. And just look for moderate levels of attraction, not real intense attraction.
It's best just to look at pictures of people you're attracted to, but don't actually try to strike up conversations with them. That's right. That's an important lesson I've learned.
All right, we're going to Donna next. She is 50. Donna, how are you? Donna?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. We listen to your show quite often, and
Who's we?
We, the family.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, anyway, the older family, the children are asleep, anyway, and just talking about it and some of the things you say, some things we agree with.
You're talking about me or Adam?
Well, Dr. Drew, most things, in the medical aspects, yes, we agree. Adam, is just something I want to bring up to you, which, well, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I have 2 daughters. One is well-proportioned. My other daughter is 29 years old, 5'2", small bone, tiny waist, tiny hips, and she is overly large-breasted.
Single gal?
She's married. Both daughters are married. But, and I know the pain she goes through of not...
Physical pain?
Well, it's the discomfort, the clothes that she can't fit into, the lack of confidence, self-esteem, of not being proportioned. And I know, you tease about it and the guy thing about, you think all boobs are wonderful and great. To me, the equivalent as a guy, for you to look at, how would you feel if you were hanging down to your ankles? That you got more than everybody else.
I'd be wearing shorts.
It could be very uncomfortable, very embarrassing, lack of proportion. You just want to be in.
I'd take it just on the weekends. I tend to agree with Donna.
Well,
yeah, but
I know you said about boob fill and all this. And,
listen. Any positive attribute brought to a freakish proportion is bad. Big blue eyes are great. If they're the size of teacups, that's bad.
But anything in our society that stands out as different is tough to live with.
Right.
Would you agree?
Yes. Well, I agree.
Yeah,
with
you've given to a level. To
females before, don't do it. Don't have it done. And
the reduction?
Yeah.
You know what, Donna? I let Adam go a little further than maybe sort of appropriate sometimes, because we are talking oftentimes to 16, 17, 18-year-olds.
Right.
15.
Who we are really encouraging to...
20,
Yeah. No, I understand. Listen, the breast reduction surgery is one of the most successful cosmetic surgeries in terms of satisfaction of the patients that get it done. So don't get me wrong. I don't think... we're not saying don't do it, but we are saying... Hey, this is you, and you're growing. When you're growing into your body, and this may feel like a something difficult to live with now, but when you're 20, you may consider it an attribute, or your body may change entirely. Just to hold back if you possibly can, and mostly we're looking to build people's confidence so they don't feel so much the incredible pressure that men put upon them, and women too, to some extent, for just being a little bit different.
Well, they say, they're built like a brick, whatever.
Well, and women think they're slutty, or they're this or they're that. They think all kinds of ridiculous things.
If you're showing it, so some gals have a problem with that, and they wear the baggy T-shirts when they're hiding their other features.
Yeah.
And that it's something. Well, anyway, I want to bring that up, and then also again, Adam.
What was the cup size of your daughter, though?
Oh God, I don't know if she's a triple D.
Ooh. They have the triple D?
Well, it's real hard.
I swear to God. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lobby Congress for some sort of
weights and measurement.
Yes, I'm going to lobby the Weights and Measurements Bureau to try to figure out cup sizes. The magazines I read, I hear like quadruple R, and I hear what's that?
Large cantaloupe, or you get into the, what do you call them, dew melon?
Cassava? Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a bit when you're only 5'2".
All right, but she's 29, she's married, she can have the breast reduction.
Okay.
Adam is giving a blessing for that.
Insurance.
You know what I'd like to do? Here's the job I'd like. Before, I don't know if people know this, but you ever see the big prize fights?
Will they weigh in?
The guys, when they cut the gloves off, the guys after the fight, you'll see when their hands are taped, you'll see a little like Sharpie, like a marker pen with a check or signature. There's something on it. And what that is...
Across the tape?
Across the tape. After the gloves, they'll cut the gloves off.
Yeah.
They'll take those surgical snippers. They'll cut the gloves off. You'll see the guy walking around the ring doing an interview. Yeah. You'll see the taped hands, and you'll see a mark, like almost a check or a sign or initials.
It's a confirmation that there's no, the horseshoes in there.
It has to be taped a certain way. The judge has to inspect it, and then he'll sign off on the guy's hands in the locker room before the fight.
Yeah. I'd
like to have a mark on the breast. I'd like to show up at women's houses. I'd like to, grope, feel, the water displacement thing.
No.
And then I will initial them. Sometimes only one. You never know. And I'll initial it, and then that'll be the okay for the breast reduction. Does that seem good, Donna?
You want that job, okay.
Well, Donna, you had something else you wanted to bring up, too.
I don't think all females would go along with that.
Well, even if it was 70%.
Okay.
Go ahead with the other issue.
Another issue, which I know you have it written down because I already told the gal, I'm 50 years old, and that you mentioned before about 50-year-olds, what do they know? They're going into menopause. They have no sexual drive. Bull. It's as strong now better now than when I was 30. And I think a lot has to do with your partner and of bringing that out and of not suppressing it. Well, anyway.
Yeah. All right. I don't want to think about that because I picture my mom now.
No.
It's uncomfortable for me.
No, look at it this way. Someday you're going to be 50. Someday you're going to be 60. And
that's right. I'm going to be married to a 17-year-old.
No.
From out of the country.
Compatible, that you can talk, that you're on the same
level. All right, Donna. Go perform oral sex on your husband.
No, Donna, thanks for your call. Look, let's go to Lisa now. Lisa is 20. Lisa, what's up there?
Hi, can't believe I got through. I listen to you guys all the time.
You dropped off the line earlier, too.
Yes, my phone cord came out of my phone. That's what was the matter. My question is, I'm engaged. I've been engaged for about a year. And my boyfriend goes to Purdue. And anyways, one day I was at school on his computer, just messing around on the web. And
you go to the same school?
No, I'm at home. He's 45 minutes away. And he's graduating in December. That's why we're engaged. And anyways, I was on his computer, and a girl instant messaged me and came up, and it said, "So you're never going to talk to me again." And I was on his screen name, so I went along with it. And I talked back to her, and I acted like he was him. And he came in the room, and he swore to me nothing had happened, and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, he ended up telling me he just took this girl on a ride on this motorcycle, that was it, and dropped her off. I didn't believe him, but I think I had to. We're engaged to be married, So I told him I was going to get a hold of the girl. I was going to ask her, though. I was going to find out just for me. So if he was lying, to tell me. So he continued. No, nothing happened. So I went to school to see him that next Monday, and when I went to get on his computer, he had changed all of his passwords. So I couldn't get on it. So I called the girl. I finally got a hold of the girl, and she told me what had happened. He had lied completely to me, about whether he did take her on his motorcycle, where they had went. He took her to this place that we always go to, and he made out with her, basically. He didn't have sex with her, but he cheated on me, and he lied on me. So my question is...
Why did she volunteer that?
Because I asked her, I said, please, can you tell me?
She's on to him. Look, the other one wants him. Yeah, she came up on the screen, never going to talk to me.
Right. And she told me that he had called her, too, and told her not to tell me, to lie to me.
Oh, I would have just had her killed.
I don't really blame her, though. She's not the one in the relationship with me. She's not the one that's...
Hey,
you're healthy.
Hey, the first girl we've spoken to has been cheated upon. Who blames the guy?
Yeah,
amazing.
You're the only one in the country. What do you call Hillary? Wait, Lisa, we got to take a break. We got to take a break. We'll come back to Lisa.
All right. Speaking of Hillary, by the way, at the TV show, the Secret Service guys came by and paid us a visit.
Because they're Loveline fans.
Yeah. Ann, I didn't tell Ann about this.
Yeah.
But on Friday, on the TV show, Ann, remember when we took a tour of the White House a couple of years ago with the Afghan wigs?
Yes.
What a bizarre life I lead. And we were talking to like some of the Secret Service guys, and they said, "Oh yeah, we listen to the show. Don't talk about it on the air."
Right.
On Friday, apparently the president's coming out to California or coming out to L.A. pretty soon.
Yeah.
And what they do, and I guess we're allowed to talk about this, they'll send a team of Secret Service guys, just a couple of guys, ahead to the location, and these guys will scout. They'll see how the rooftops look. They'll see if there's any good vantage points for assassins.
Yeah.
Any book depositories nearby, any fat Texans with cameras. They look.
Yeah.
And so these guys are big Loveline fans. So they came by and said hi to us at the TV show. But it just happened to be at the TV show. I think these guys are the radio listeners.
Both, I think.
All right. Yeah. Well, so be it. So we got an in to the White House, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
God knows. I wonder if that Chelsea listens. She's got it. She's in college.
In Stanford.
Sure. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll finish up. Who are we talking to? Lisa?
Yeah.
We'll get to the bottom of this story after this.
Loveline. Be right back in a minute.
Hey, this is E from the Eels.
Hey, it's Butch from the Eels.
E.
Butch.
Loveline.
Aw, rock!
They're funny.
A friend of mine was roadieing for the Eels.
Really?
Just went on tour with them, stuff. They fired him.
Oh, could have been you.
Could have been me. Oh, would have been a dream gig. Traveling around with a band.
Building the stages.
Setting up a mic. Oh, fantastic. Hey, it's Loveline. Phone number, 1-800-LOVE-191. Now, when we left off, we were speaking to Lisa. Lisa's 20. Her boyfriend's going to Purdue.
She's at home.
She went over to his place, and she got on his computer. And I got to tell you, we talked to a lot of people that get popped via the computer.
But it's usually the memory on the computer. The memory function is usually where people get nails, not the chat boxes and stuff. What's that?
Oh, I check it every day.
You check his memory?
His mail every day.
Lisa, what kind of relationship
It's got to be nice.
this?
Yeah. Good thing you guys are tying the knot.
Why do you get married? What's the hurry?
Just ever since that happened, that's why I'm checking it. I never did before.
Yeah, but you checked the first time.
No,
I
she
was
didn't check.
just on there messing around on the internet, and
The girl came up. She came up chatting.
Right.
Yeah.
She came up and messaged me.
I bet you had some suspicions even before the instant message.
Well, yeah, he's in a fraternity at Purdue. But
Right.
I trusted him. Yes, I trusted him.
Big mistake.
Big mistake.
Okay, so anyway, the girl popped up, did an instant message. He basically told you that he took her for a ride on the motorcycle, but that was about it. You got her number. You contacted her. How'd you get her number?
Right. Over the internet. Not over the internet, but I tried to find it underneath the Purdue webpage, and then I didn't get it. And I kept fighting with him, and I told him if he didn't have anything to hide, he would let me call that girl. So he finally let me call her.
Yeah, after he called her first.
Pre-interviewing her.
And she ratted his ass right out.
Right.
Sung like a canary.
Right. Well, I'm glad she did. I mean, at least the stranger could be honest with me, you know.
All right, what's the hurry in getting married? Why the rush?
There is no hurry. I'm only 20 years old. I'm not done with college yet.
Right.
But he's graduating in December. We wanted to live together and then get married. We weren't planning I didn't have any wedding plans made or anything. But we were planning on it someday, yes.
Well, go live together, and now you know a little more about what this guy's made of, and see if it's something you still want to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. I mean, he didn't sleep with her. But he might have.
Well, he lied, and it's all kind of age-appropriate behavior, and if you weren't planning a marriage, you'd think, oh, well, this relationship is sort of running the course that this age would bring it.
Yeah, this is even worse than a one-night stand, though, because he's having a relationship outside of your relationship. Like, hold on, ladies, and I include you in that group, Drew. Wouldn't you rather your guy go out of town? Purdue's playing Nebraska. He gets in a Winnebago with a bunch of his fraternity buddies. They go out of town. They meet some drunken chick at a party, has a one-night stand, and comes home. Wouldn't you rather have that than him corresponding back and forth and meeting, rendezvous, that kind of thing?
It sounds like there's not been a series of rendezvous. He's been resisting this girl that's sort of coming on to him. Is that right, Lisa?
I don't really know. She just said they
Don't
talked.
know,
She just said they talked on the computer a couple times. They talked one night, and he said, "You want to go for a ride on my motorcycle? It's nice." And he initiated all of it. And when he lied to me, and he told me it was her. But he's 23 years old, and he's planning on marrying me, and he's still picking up girls on his motorcycle.
Well, but that's the point. I mean, if he weren't planning a marriage, you'd say,
right?
Maybe if you guys, yeah. But why don't you put the relationship back in that context? I think it's a little more appropriate and a little healthier that you just start evaluating him as your boyfriend, not as your husband.
Right. I am. No ring on my finger anymore.
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah, good.
All
for
right,
you. Lisa, you sound great.
It's fine.
You'll be fine.
Good luck with Fonzie.
You've done that. Think about it. She got mad at him, not the girl.
Yeah.
She looked through it carefully, made an assessment, found out the truth, and is now assessing things further.
It's my favorite part about Springer, when the world's skinniest man sits in between the two fattest women in the world, and they duke it out. I mean, it comes to blows. They go at it, and then they start talking smack. He'll be going home with me after the taping. Oh, no, he won't. Oh, yes. But the guy just gets pulled back and forth like it's like some sort of custody battle with a 6-month-old.
No, worse than that.
Obviously, yeah, he has no part in it. The fact that he's been banging both of you, there's no blame on him whatsoever. You guys can just duke it out. God, I got to find myself a couple of women that way.
All right, let's go to Steve.
Drew, your wife would kill you.
Yeah.
If you screwed around, she'd go right for you.
We were having this conversation tonight. She assured me she would put my genitals on a pole and put them at the entrance to the city.
That's right.
They'd be out there in display.
That's right. And
like they put heads on it.
Your wife would beat you, and then her mom and your mom would both beat you too.
With my own genitalia.
That's right. They take your scrotum sack, they pull it over your head, and they turn you around like a bad game of pin the tail on the donkey.
Very bad.
All right,
Steve, what's going on? Steve's 25.
Dr. Drew, actually, first off, Adam, you're awesome, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, thanks.
Dr. Drew, I do have a
Steve, what's up? All right, what's up?
I've been a member of Al-Anon for quite a number of years.
Good, congratulations.
You made a comment earlier that kind of bothered me when you were talking to
Christy,
fiance of a drug addict, heroin addict, I think.
Christy.
Yeah, that was it.
Funny, Christy didn't know her own name, and no one knows Christy's name either.
Well,
I'm not going to name my kid Christy.
She didn't listen.
She'll be running into the street. Everyone's going to be yelling at her name, and she won't even turn around.
And God knows what I said, but it was all out of frustration because Christy was like talking to a brick wall, and so I may have said something superlative, not thinking about it. So what did I say?
Don't backpedal.
What did I say?
Actually, it was just the comment about her needing to go to Al-Anon that I wanted to take issue with.
You don't think she needs to go to Al-Anon?
No, I don't think that'd be the right place for her. Al-Anon is for friends and relatives of alcoholics, not drug addicts. It's very specific in the traditions of Al-Anon that the only requirement for membership be a problem of alcoholism in a relative or friend.
I think you ought to check with some of the members, because you will find that there are many members of Al-Anon who have addicts that they're involved with.
There's no doubt, but there's also a problem of alcoholism with most of them.
That's correct, but they may not even understand. Understand, Steve, you have a misconception about addiction, maybe. 85% of addicts are biologically alcoholic. 85%.
Absolutely. I think it'd actually be higher than that, but...
I have no doubt, just based on the history that Christy was giving us, that we were dealing with an alcoholic there. Even though he was a heroin methadone addict, the actual biology is alcoholism.
Well, do they have Narcanon?
Yeah, they do.
Or
they do.
Cocanon?
They do, but they're harder to get a hold of. And
Potanon?
They have Narcanon. That would be great for her. Right? Would you agree, Steve?
Absolutely. I think that would be. I just don't think that Al-Anon would be the place.
The reason I was saying Al-Anon was two reasons. One, Narcanon is hard to get a hold of, and I know Christy's not going to listen to me no matter what I tell her. And Narcanon is a little more daunting. Al-Anon is a little bit
easier to deal with.
Easier to do. And so if somebody like Christy who's not listening to anything I'm saying, that was my reason for Al-Anon.
Especially when you brought up, did you follow through and go to Al-Anon like was suggested? She was like, what?
I guarantee you that's what they said.
She had never even heard of it.
Steve, I run an addiction recovery program. We recommend Al-Anon for all of the family members of the addicts and alcoholics that go. And I would say about 80% of them don't hear it, no matter how many times you recommend it. And that's the point I was making by putting it that way.
All right. So she goes to Al-Anon, and they kick her out and tell her to go to Methanon.
They're not going to kick her out. It's just the help she'd be looking for there.
But I would think, though, Steve, that a quality group with people who are caring about her, if indeed she had issues that reached beyond what Al-Anon could manage, they would refer her to an Narconon and advise her to, at that point, develop a sponsor relationship with somebody who was actually an Narconon.
All right, I'm getting a contact high here.
All right. Let's see. Hector is 50. I don't have time for this next
Well,
one.
let's just squeeze Hector in, and we'll keep him on break during our break.
All right, Hector, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm 15.
By the way, Steve, thanks for the call. So, Hector.
I'm 15, and I want to know what's the long term, because, like, my mom's here and everything, but she don't care about me. Like, she's not around, and I take care of my own stuff most of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your mom?
Where's
your mom?
Huh?
Where's your mom?
My mom, she's here, but she don't, like, care, you know. She's in her own world, I'm in my own world.
What is her world?
Like, she does, well, she's not she just, I don't know, my dad used to beat her. Because he was a drunk. But he's gone. He's been gone since I was 7. And now my mom is, like, going to AA meeting, this and that, over here doing her own things. And she tries to drag me along with her, but I don't want to go her route. And I just, like, kick back and do whatever I do. Like,
well, you got a problem with booze or drugs?
Well, beer, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, at 15.
Well, sure. Dad like that? If he had the gene, that's
Dad's an alcoholic?
Yeah.
Mom is too?
Mom go to AA or Al-Anon?
Well, yeah, to help her. I don't know if it's AA or Al-Anon. I don't really pay attention.
But the reason Hector doesn't want to go is he found a way that works for him, and that's drugs, alcohol.
Hey, Hector.
What's up?
You don't want to be 17, have a kid, be in one of those what are those A shirts called? I guess that's what it's with, the ones with big sweat stains in the front and beating the crap out of some poor 16-year-old chick who you're promising to marry, do you?
Nah.
All right. I've just looked at my crystal ball, and that's what I see. Why don't you go to one of those things with your mom? I know you're pissed off at your mom. I know you don't feel like you want to do anything that she wants you to do, and after years of her screwing with you, why should you do her any favors?
Especially since the alcohol's working so well for him right now.
Right, but man, you're 15, brother, and the future doesn't look real rosy. You can make a big change right now, or you can just have a ton of horrible years. A rap sheet, a few arrests, a few kids you don't know about. I mean, you're going to end up like your dad, and we know you hate him.
And understand, Mom is not doing her own thing. She's just taking care of herself and allowing you to develop as a separate person and make your own choices. I know you'd rather she be there in some sort of fantasy way that you conceived of, but she may be doing something kind of healthy, and hopefully what Adam just tells you, urge you to follow suit and follow her direction a little bit.
All right. Just go to one meeting, see how you like it. I think you can get a keychain and some cake or something.
He'll hate it, though.
All right, just go. I swear, believe
going.
us, we
Keep
know.
going.
Just go to one and check it out, please. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be back with more Loveline.
Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. The phone number is 1-800-LOVE-191.
We'll be right back.
Loveline on 92.1 KFMA.
Hey, it's Loveline. We are going to step aside for just 10 seconds for a little station identification, and we'll be right back. We are at the fabulous Westwood 2 facility in New York, which is actually a nice facility.
It's actually Westwood 1 here.
Yeah, it is Westwood 1 here. Out in L.A., it's not Westwood 1. Westwood, it's at least 2.
However, I miss our chairs.
Yeah, I miss our chairs, too. I have to say one thing about Westwood One. They provide the most comfortable chairs. Wait a minute. A listener sent those chairs in. That's right.
She should send her card again.
The ones that Westwood One provide were thrones of death. We busted our ass in those poor chairs for 2 years before I finally got a gracious listener to send us in some beautiful leather chairs. And I swear to God, when this show's done and we leave, Drew,
chairs come with us.
Either I take them with us or I burn them in the parking lot. The fact that the Lycus's big ass gets near that chair every day is enough to set me off. Thank God he stands during his show.
Ouch.
Wow, that was painful. You know, that happens. We just got a little static over there.
Surge from the satellite or something.
The Westwood One God. But the Westwood One facility in New York is very nice. So I know what they do with all the money they should be spending on the one in Culver City.
Oh, but have no fear. Were we to move our operations here, we'd fall apart.
I'm sure. All right.
Let's go to Cindy. She's 27. Cindy, what's going on there?
Hello.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi. I have an issue with a boyfriend, and I don't know how many different things are involved in this, but I feel as though he's trying to control me. And just for example, number one, he won't let me speak with an ex-boyfriend. And I feel like that's controlling. I just kind of want to get
how ex is the boyfriend?
Okay. Let's see. We were broken up about a year before I met him, but we were still getting together every now and then.
And having sex. Yeah.
And we had gotten together.
When was the last? Yeah.
3 weeks before him and I met.
All right.
And that was 10 months. Him and I have been dating for 10 months.
Yeah. Did he understand that you had that arrangement with him formally?
The sexual arrangement?
Yeah.
You mean, did he understand that we got together every now and then had sex?
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna confirm or deny anything anymore. I'm gonna state my case, and I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah. Yes.
Cindy?
He knew, and he's disgusted by it. He thinks it's disgusting that that's what we did.
Right.
Can you imagine that it might be a little troubling for him to have you hanging out with that guy?
Well, it's not that I want to hang out with him. All that I was asking is that, like, we speak a few times a year just to see what was up with each other's life. And and to him, he says, I don't want to be associated with that guy. Like, he knows of him. And he's like, I don't want to be associated with him. He's trash, and I don't want him to be...
Anything else about that guy that we should know?
No, just that he's kind of like, I mean, I guess he's kind of like a loser. He's an artist, and he's kind of like, doesn't really have anything going for him.
Yeah.
And it's
listen, this guy, you're in charge of your own life. He shouldn't forbid you from talking to anybody. On the other hand, the fact that you had this sort of maintenance agreement with this guy for a year after you broke up, I can see where that would factor in with the guy.
I can too. And Cindy, it is, again, you're in control of your life, but why would you choose to disturb and hurt the guy you're close and involved with, and God knows how long this relationship will go, as opposed to trying to maintain contact with a guy who you've had a dysfunctional, disturbed, kind of friendship with that really should have ended a long time ago anyway.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but I just feel like that's controlling. Okay, so that aside, there's...
One more thing, go ahead.
There's one more thing. Okay, I also
beats the crap out of her.
a lesbian experience with a girlfriend of mine before I met him, 3 months before I met him. And he cannot get it out of his head. And he's convinced that I still have feelings for her. And I explained...
Do you?
No. It was totally...
Are you bisexual?
No. It was
This was just an experimentation.
Exactly. We had been drinking, we tried it, and it was like,
what's up with Cindy?
I wasn't into it, and it's just like, I tried it once and that was it. But it's like, he like won't let us sleep. If she sleeps over, she's not allowed to sleep in the same bed. We're not allowed
wait a minute.
And this guy, the artist guy, can't masturbate in the corner. I mean, this guy's way out of line, Drew.
Man, is he controlling?
Yeah.
A-hole.
He is.
Yeah, next thing you know, he's going to pull her right out of the porn business. And then she won't have a livelihood to feed her 4 daughters. Hey, Cindy?
Yeah?
What is up, Cindy?
You're a little chaotic, sister.
What happened to you? Oh, yes.
Seriously, what is the big deal? You know how many girls try that? It's not like it's a big deal.
No, I know, but
There's more than that going on here, Cindy. We're not talking about that.
Let me tell you what you're doing, Cindy.
Okay.
You like a little chaos. You really do. You like to live on the edge a little.
Uh-huh.
And this is why you had the maintenance agreement with the guy for a year after you broke up. This is why you have to sort of introduce this thing to your boyfriend, who you know is kind of a jealous guy. Here's a little grist for his mill. And the fact that he wants things to be sort of unchaotic is not a good notion to you. So you got to keep it mixed up. You got to stir it up. You got to goose the guy.
That's because I talked to my friends, and they're all like, he's just trying to control you. And
Cindy, is because of whatever happened with your dad. I don't know what happened.
Where's your dad?
Well, he wasn't really. I mean, I've gone through like therapy in regards.
Well, you need to get back to it then, because it's you've not worked it through properly. Something we it's not magical, or we're not just guessing that's something happened to your dad. It's obvious to us.
I want you to sue your therapist.
If those are things in my past, you know what I'm saying? There's things in my past.
Cindy, your past is what determines the present. That's it. We are.
He's not.
We are.
You think
we are biological beings that the rules have been well worked out for, and that's the way the rules work.
Listen, Cindy, we're not going to argue with you about your boyfriend being a slightly controlling jerk. There's no doubt about that. You found a guy who you knew you could get a good rise out of, and now you're kind of goosing him with this stuff.
Well, she probably wanted somebody to try to help contain her, because she's not too containable on her own. And when he tries to contain her, she fights against that, and then makes that as a source of conflict.
Yeah. Cindy, it's I don't know. What went on with your dad?
I mean, nothing big. It's just, I mean, he was in the house, but he wasn't part of my life. He was just kind of like one of those dads that just works and comes home and doesn't like.
Yeah. You couldn't get
a rise out of him.
Attention from him, could you?
No.
No.
You tried by creating a little chaos in high school and stuff.
Acting out a little.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well,
gotten into some trouble.
You're still doing it. You're still doing it.
See, but I don't think I am anymore.
Well, Cindy, then we just made this up, and we just magically happened to have arrived at this conclusion. But it's obvious to us.
I feel like I've grown from there, and I don't feel like I'm consciously doing this. I mean, it seriously must be very...
Well, it's not consciously.
And we're not saying you haven't grown either.
And it's not malicious, so it comes out that way. But it's not intentional. It's just you're on a little bit autopilot, and this is something that's sort of woven into your fabric, and it's going to take a little more therapy and a little more work to get through it. We can both clearly hear what's going on.
Or a little more, here's the real thing, we don't talk maybe enough about this, but a desire to change. I mean, she may want us to remain this way, but she's going to have to find a partner who can ride with that and find a better sort of stability, a different kind of stability.
Right.
Because this isn't going to work this way. And I doubt that stability is something she can achieve.
No, if she really wants what she says she wanted, she wouldn't have any slumber parties with the lesbian friend.
Right.
And she wouldn't have any sort of hookups with the guy she was on the hookup maintenance plan with.
Right.
And furthermore, her boyfriend wouldn't be aware of this stuff.
She wouldn't need it to be. Right. She wouldn't need him to be stirred up by this.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. Cindy sort of told the boyfriend what she was up to and then explained what was going to be going on in the future, and naturally the guy freaked.
Yeah.
Now he's trying to control her.
Right, now he's too controlling. Right.
I don't want to defend the guy too much. I'm sure he's a jerk in his own way.
He has to be, because after all.
Cindy, you're not making it easy on him.
How is we know he's a jerk?
Cindy got with him.
That's right.
Look at your motivation, Cindy.
Let's talk to Jason. He's 16. Jason, what's going on there? Jason?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, what's up, Jason?
Well, I'm kind of like dating this girl, sort of, but it's like she kisses me and stuff. And I don't know, it's just like she feels real intense about me, but like when her friends are around, it's like she doesn't want to, kiss me and all that.
When her friends are around, she's embarrassed.
Well, it's not that she's embarrassed, but she talks about other guys that she'd love to do and all this.
What are her friends like?
Well, her friends are assholes. In
what way?
Well, they're mean to me. They tease me.
About what?
My hair.
How's your hair?
Yeah, I got a freakish haircut.
Adam.
It's like me when I was 16.
Help this young man. You've been here. You felt his pain.
You look like Peter Brady.
No. It looks weird. I got the rest of it shaved except the bangs.
Oh,
Just in front.
So I got the cold.
Hey, you got the mud flap?
Yeah.
I just invented that.
Weird.
Yeah, I see. I was watching the news a few months ago, and there were remember when a couple of 7 and 8 year old kids got a hold of some syringes behind some medical facility? Did you hear that story?
No.
Anyway, there was a 6 and a 7 year old who'd been playing behind a medical facility in God knows where out in Los Angeles. Anyway, both kids were sporting the mud flap. 6 and 7 year olds, a completely shaved head except for the bangs.
Oh my God!
It was it's sort of like
Hitler,
the Hitler mustache, except for up on your forehead. I'm sure later on when the kid hits puberty, mom will cultivate the Hitler stash too, which I'm really surprised is not back in vogue by now. It's been 50 years. The point is I wanted to have mom arrested on the spot for the kids sporting the mud flap.
Yeah.
And Jason, to me, your hair, your head, your scalp, it's your calling card. I see some guy with the funky mud flap thing, and I say, what's up with this guy? Now, I don't want to get off your girlfriend too much and on to you, but why are you sporting this hairdo that everyone makes fun of?
Because no one else has it, and I'm being different.
Nobody else has it?
Yeah, where I live, no one else has it except.
Right, but let's say no one else has a carrot hanging out of their ass.
Then I would do that.
Okay.
All right. Well, why don't you do that?
But then people are going to talk about it and make fun of it. That's the way it goes. That's the way people are. You do something that nobody else is doing and it looks different, people are going to
ridicule.
It's not easy. And we're not saying don't do it, but don't expect people not to do it.
No, you listen. You want them to do it. It's an antisocial thing. Why do you want people to do this, Jason?
It's not that. It's just, but when I'm around her friends do it, and then she doesn't do anything with me.
Well, how long have you been going out with her?
Well, we've been dating for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's just getting started, Jason.
All right. Let the flap grow out. Not the flap. Hey, it'd be fun. Hey, Jason? What about one of those chrome chicks with the big boobs that are in the back of the trucks? Can you stick that on the front of the flap?
I don't know.
All right.
Nobody does that.
Yeah, no one does that. Listen, Jason, if her friends make fun of you, go ahead and confront them on it.
And confront her.
And confront her.
But if you want to do something that nobody else is doing, you got to expect or at least prepare to manage the consequences.
And God knows what Jason's been through. But listen, all you screwballs that are out there trying to define yourself through your appearance, I'm on to you. I walk to the other side of the street. It works like a charm. I see a guy coming with the mud flap and the nose ring, and he's got a tat crawling up his neck. I walk right to the other side of the street. So I say to myself, here's a guy who is acting out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's angry.
Here's everyone's job. Blend in, all of you. I don't want to notice anyone. I didn't want to notice myself. I don't trust anybody. I don't care if it's a car that's jacked up 8 feet off the ground. I don't care if it's a woman jogging in a pair of pink Lycra shorts.
Wow.
Whatever it is. Anyone who stands out, flawed.
Here's something bizarre. My instinct is not to discourage that. How bizarre is that? I'm the man here in this show, and you're the common man, and I'm the one saying, "Hey, go express yourself." But if you do it, don't be surprised, and don't be hurt, and don't try to figure it out.
Yeah, but that's why you do it.
Hey, that's fine. But then behave accordingly. I mean, expect if you behave antisocial, know that everybody's going to interpret that what you're doing is antisocial. You're not going to get a job. You're not going to have friends. You're going to be angry because people are going to piss you off, and you're already pissed off anyway. That's fine.
Right.
Go define yourself, but you better do it in an environment that helps you define yourself and also find some gratification, fulfillment in life. It's not easy.
Or you start a gang of guys who got the mud flap too.
Whatever. But it doesn't all have to be the Carolla ant farm.
Yes, it does.
All right. Holly's 28.
I don't want to notice anyone.
Holly, what's up there?
Nothing much.
You're not sporting the flap, are you?
No, I'm not.
No, but she's got the chrome lady on her.
But believe me, if a Mohawk Indian 100 years ago saw a guy with the mud flap, he'd make fun of him. He'd run the other way, hooping and hollering.
See, that, but the Mohawk meant something.
All right, man, you're in the Mohawk tribe, right? Smart idea for the Mohawks. I mean, think about that. The Mohicans. You know the Mohicans. I got a hairdo named after them.
But it also...
Like, what came first, the tribe or the hairdo?
It also scared people, too.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
You saw a guy coming with his head shaved, and back then you had to shave your head with a rock.
That's right.
Saw a guy coming with that mohawk, you went, this mofo's nuts.
That's right. That's right.
Honey, let's not settle this part of the West.
That's right.
And if I saw a member of the Mudflap tribe coming at me...
I think the same thing.
Right. Except for now...
You stop masturbate private, they put the chrome thing in front of it.
Now it's at the video store. I see. This is the one place you can work with the Mudflap hairdo. As a matter of fact, I think you get a raise.
Holly.
Yeah.
Who are we down to?
Holly.
How old's Holly?
28.
All right, Holly.
What's up?
Well, I just broke up with my boyfriend, who I had waited 5 years, actually 5 years of celibacy by choice. And I get together with this guy, and within 3 months, we've totally burnt out, you know. Just, I haven't quite learned the art of subtlety. I'm either running a guy over or not there at all. And that's what my problem is. And I'm just trying
We're having a little problem here, Holly. We're not quite following you. You mean you either get too involved too fast or you push guys away?
Yeah, basically that's it. I'm running them over, or I'm not there at all.
How does the 5 years of celibacy factor in?
I don't know. I just, I was married, and that was a pretty crappy relationship, and
abusive.
Yeah, pretty much. And I decided to work on myself, and then what the heck, you know, I'm going to go for it and start dating, and I meet this guy. And we were real hot and heavy for a month, and then he started backing off. And then by the time I actually realized that I really liked him, he was had already moved on.
Okay.
So he's moved on.
Now, Holly, your marriage was from when to when? What age?
Well, we dated forever. And then when we got married, we were together for 2 weeks, and then he got arrested and sent away for some ungodly amount of years. And
well, what'd he do?
He was selling drugs.
Okay. He must have had a prior record, though, right?
No.
Huh?
Ooh, he must have been selling a lot of drugs.
Yeah, he was it was kind of a big deal from the town we're from. It was a big deal.
All right.
He never had any scrapes with the law before this?
Well, it didn't help. What he was into didn't help him out at all. So.
What he was into?
Yeah, he was a skinhead, and
you've had some treatment, Holly.
Yeah.
You've had some treatment along the way here.
Huh?
You've had some treatment since then.
Yeah.
What kind of treatment have you had?
You married a skinhead?
Yes.
No, I feel I hear a partially treated person here. This is like she's had 3 or 4 years of something. What? Al-Anon, individual therapy?
Individual therapy.
For how many years?
Why don't you tell her?
3 years.
I'm going 2.
Oh, a couple years.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Holly, I bet you if we talked to Holly 5 years ago, you would have thought, she's 12.
Really?
Yeah, I can. Right? Did you have sort of a squeaky high voice at one point in your life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Drew, you're batting 1,000, but no one cares.
All right,
That's the name of your next book.
But Holly, you're almost there. Okay, you're almost better. It's the best way I can put this. I mean, you're able to have relationships now that sounds like they're reasonably decent choices, but you still sort of have poor boundaries, and you get overly involved, and you have sort of fantasy notions about the person you're involved with, but you're able to be vulnerable, and you're able to be open, and you're able to make reasonable choices. Am I right?
Yeah, I think I
am. And before it was quite different, right? Before it had to be an abusive guy, and it had to be sort of a casting a play, right?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Well, Drew, Hold on.
Am I making sense?
You're painting with pretty broad strokes here.
I am.
Yeah, I mean, let's not pigeonhole the skinheads. There's a lot of decent, nurturing,
I know we've had this
God-fearing skinheads out there that are, in fact, the leaders in the community. Recycling programs, skinhead big brothers.
But Holly, listen, you get back into your therapy. You're almost there. You really sound like you've done a lot of work and you've come a long way from where you were. Get back at it. You're starting to have relationships that sound like they're working a lot better for you, but you still sound a little bit bewildered about the boundaries and how to be in a relationship. And if you had somebody working with you as you sort of embarked on all this, even for another year or so, I think it would go a lot better for you. Okay.
All right. We never did quite get the previous rap sheet answer.
Yeah, it's not important.
No, I know.
It's not important.
Just ask a simple question. All right, here's my suggestion. I'm sort of on a hair jag tonight, but
everybody, what are we supposed to do with our
think
hair?
the skinheads should get a new hairdo because
mohawk.
And first off, here's something that's bad and ironic with the skinheads that I don't think they'd planned on some years ago when they became the skinhead. Every black man has a shaved head now. Your arch enemy is sporting the same do you are. They could have never anticipated
Well,
that.
not all skinheads are racist. That's sort of that.
they're not?
There is divided up. Yeah. There's non-racist skinheads.
There are?
Yes.
Oh,
that I'm
poor
sure.
guys. I can see them with the Black Panthers kicking the ass out of them, going, "Wait a minute, I'm the good one."
Yeah.
I thought all skinheads were racist.
No.
The ones on Geraldo are racist.
Have one call in and talk to us about it. There's sort of some different camps there.
Well, why else be a skinhead if you're not going to be a racist?
We'll have one call in and tell us about it.
All right, but the point is I need the skinheads. You guys ought to get together at your next convention, which I think is just after the NAPI convention, the television and radio producers convention. That's actually during.
Yeah,
I think a lot of those guys are involved with both organizations.
But nappy, interesting. Maybe the nappy hair would be the way to go.
I'm thinking the mullet. Remember the hairdo Billy Ray Cyrus had?
I was politically incorrect with Billy Ray Cyrus.
But he wasn't sporting the mullet
He's
anymore.
sort of mostly grown out mullet.
Yeah, no one has the mullet anymore.
Yeah.
You got to adopt a new hairdo about every 8 years. Because if every third guy on the planet's walking around with a clean-shaved head...
Why have it?
Yeah, why have it?
Okay.
All right.
Mohawk.
All right, so what have we learned? Forget the mud flap. If you do, get the little barrette with the chrome mud flap girl on it, so you can really make some use of the flap. The mullet should be adopted by the skinheads, and then it'd be the mullet movement.
Mullet heads.
And you guys... How
about just blockheads?
Billy Ray Cyrus could speak at your next gathering.
There you
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more Loveline.
This is Loveline. Loveline will be right back.
Hi, this is Victoria Silstead, Playboy Playmate of the Year, and you are listening to Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Yes.
Still the Playmate of the Year?
No, there's a new Playmate of the Year.
I say.
Although, you know what? You know my Playmate of the Year policy. Any of them that are still in the decade we're in, I'll take. You know what I mean?
I thought the decade before applied too. Oh,
I'll even... You see, I'll go the decade before, and then it's like 3 beers for each 2-year period. You understand? So if we can go as far back to the 50s. I'm going to need a keg.
I see. Personally.
Right.
All right.
That's my policy.
All right. We're going to do the skinhead discussion here. We're going to keep going along that line.
Why?
Because I want to straighten you out. It's Dion 17. He's going to tell us about the non-racist skinheads. Right, Dion?
Yeah. The skinheads that are non-racist, they're called sharps, which is skinheads against racial prejudice.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you guys get in fights, though, with the other guys, right?
Well, I'm actually not one of them, but I know them, and yeah, they fight all the skinheads. So
the skinheads fights amongst themselves in this regard, right?
yeah. So there's actually black guys that are sharps, and there's white guys that are sharps, but they all have shaved heads.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, but listen, if you got a shaved head, if you're a skinhead and you're against racism.
Why not grow your hair out?
Aren't you just a guy with a shaved head who's against racism? I mean, why be a skinhead?
Well, it's like a whole different... It's skinheads against racial prejudice.
But as I remember, last time I had this discussion with somebody, there is a whole cultural thing about being a skinhead outside of the race issue, right?
Yeah.
You mean like goose stepping and stuff?
No, there's something I can't remember.
What's the life of a skinhead?
Dion?
The life of a skinhead? I don't know. The life of a skinhead.
Teeth,
a lot of my friends
eat breakfast.
Beaten up by skinheads, so the life of a skinhead is basically beating people
Wait, hold on.
up. Huh?
Well, hold on a second. All of your friends have been beaten up by skinheads?
No, I've had like 4 friends that have been beaten up by skinheads. So.
Seriously?
Yeah. In the Citrus Heights area, you know where that is?
What state?
California.
Citrus Heights.
It's like in Sacramento area. But it's not
Are
a
you
big
black?
city.
Are you African American?
Yeah.
And your friends are all the same race?
My friends, no.
But they were still beaten up by skinheads?
Yeah.
So multiple races these guys go after?
Just like skinheads pull up behind, like in a parking lot and just jump out and beat them up. Like that kind of.
Are they beating up skinhead guys or just anybody?
Just anybody. They'll just beat up anybody for no reason.
And, you know, I never seen any skinheads where I live. You see any skinheads, Drew?
No.
They got a lot.
Go hang out with some skinheads. All right, so there's the good skinheads.
Yeah, those are the sharps, and then there's the other ones like that claim like Orangevale pride or something, and they're just the ones that just go out and beat the crap out of people for no reason.
Wow.
All right. Listen,
thanks.
I see a guy with the Doc Martens and the pants rolled up and the chain hanging off the wallet.
White shoelaces and
yeah. That's listen. When I'm in power, I'm just going to mow over everybody. That's it.
People that don't fall in line.
Either anyone sporting the mullet, the skinhead, or the mud flap. I'm going to collect them. Oh, believe me.
Well, you've gone beyond just collecting genitalia now. You're collecting the entire.
Collect the people. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have
Soylent Green.
Well, almost. Don't ruin it for everyone, Drew. Here's what I'm going to do. You know, around our house, Drew, they have those trash cans with a robotic arm.
Yeah, the trucks.
Yeah,
they come by.
The truck comes out, and instead of the guy getting out of the car, out of the truck and dumping the can in the back, and then doing like a discus type 360 maneuver and throwing it into the garage door at 6:45 in the morning, which. You know what was funny about trash cans is plastic had been used since, fairly successfully since I'd say the late 30s, early 40s. I mean, they made the domes of the bombers in World War II out of plastic. But no one thought to make a trash can out of plastic till like 1987. And they made it out of this corrugated tin.
The loudest
they actually,
substance.
Yes, they actually.
That's where the steel drum came from. Come on.
That's right.
People started playing them. They
worked with Jamaican guys who played the steel drum, and they worked with acoustic experts, and they actually did decibel readings on what the loudest possible material was, and then they made trash cans out of that material. It took many years of testing in the lab to perfect the decibel system that they use for the cans. Then somehow magically all garbage is picked up between 6:30 and 7:15
a.m.
There's nobody that's got the 4 in the afternoon route.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happens. I'd love to be a garbage man because you're
done by 8 o'clock.
You work from 5:30 in the morning until 8, and then you're off. I've never lived in a house that had the trash picked up at 1 in the afternoon.
That's true.
Much less 3:30.
Yes.
And I've always thought about that.
And quite interestingly, I've never lived in a house where the mail was delivered at 9 a.m.
No.
That comes at 4 in the afternoon.
God damn it, you're right. That's one of the things I'm going to do to fix this country.
Have the garbage
mail shows up at 4, the garbage man shows up at 7 a.m., and I don't care how many places you move, that's what they do. I swear to God, they must, when I move, I must have some sort of a homing beacon in my ass. Or there's some guy at the U-Haul who gets on the horn and alerts the people who pick up the garbage, and they take a big map with a red arrow that represents me, a pin, and they put it to where it moved, and then they reroute all the trucks to pick it up at 7. But they got these cans, and they used to empty them by hand, and then when they were done, they would never, ever set them back down. They threw them.
Yes.
And then he smashed the lid back on it, and then they would beat it with a wooden spoon for 10 minutes until the neighbor's dog started barking before they moved on to the next house.
Yes.
Now that they have the plastic cans, they use the robotic arm.
Yeah.
This thing comes out, and it picks the cans up and throws it in there. Now, the new thing is if the can is not facing...
due south.
It has to be, magnetic north. Exactly.
And if there's a shred of of organic material in there,
that's right. They don't empty it. A guy gets
they have
out
some sort of device that scans
with a compass and a sextant, and if it's not facing Mecca, he will not pick it up. This, by the way, is one of the only things I like about New York is
throw the trash in the street.
They drag sofas out to the street. You go down to like Chinatown, huge shovels of fish heads, just big mounds of fish heads and catfish guts and chickens that have been hung in a window too long, and it makes a giant mountain, and everything's fair game. There's bodies out on the curb. There's sofas out on the curb. In L.A., everything must be completely separated.
Yes.
Well, that's those are shavings, but those aren't branches.
That's right.
Let's keep those separated. The point is I'm going to drive around with a modified truck, and I'm going to use that arm, and I'm going to pick up all the people that got the skinhead and the mullet and the mud flap, and I'm going to toss them right in the back of the truck.
What are you going to do with them?
Drive across the border into Mexico.
Oh, that'll keep them out.
I'm going to tag them, and I'm going to let them go free.
Like a caribou.
That's right.
I see.
That's my plan.
Let's talk to Chris. He's 18. We're just talking before we go to break here. Chris, what's going on? Chris?
Yeah.
What's up?
Hi. All right. I had sex with my girlfriend for like the first time like a week ago, and we were both like pretty drunk when it happened, and so that was fine. Then I went like 2 days. 2 days later, I went over to her house because I was like, oh great, I can have sex with her again, right? So I went over there and like we started messing around. And we got naked, and like I went to go put my condom on, and I didn't have an erection anymore. And I was like,
Adam, your robotic arm.
Yep.
Stall it.
I could have put the condom on using my robotic arm. That's what I'm going to use it for.
Made a mini version.
You're going to have some sort of reducer put on it. God knows.
All right, Chris, hold on a second. We got to go to break here.
All right, we're going to take a break, Chris. We'll come back. I'll tell you what happened to your honker after this.
Oh, yeah, everybody now. Loveline will be right back.
Hey there, it's Loveline. Adam Carolla, Dr. Drew over there. Listen to me. I just want to finish this up.
Trash.
All you lazy-ass garbage men, you haul your sorry asses out of the truck and you pick up my garbage, you dogs.
Wait, this is just in Hollywood?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's your job.
Glendale, too, if you like.
Let me explain the title. Garbage Man. If you can't get out of the truck, quit. They must have some kind of union.
Hey, look what they do here in New York.
Just get 50 grand a year for sitting and complaining. And let me tell you something. If you got a bad back, you're fired. I need someone who can get out of the truck and hustle a little garbage once in a while.
Let's get back to Chris.
I swear to God. And when I buy, if I ever move, the first thing I'm going to find out is when those god-awful garbage men come by. I'm not buying the place. A mansion for $5. I'm not buying it if they come by at 7.
Chris, what's going on?
Hey.
Yeah. So you lost your erection second time you tried to have sex with your girlfriend. 3 days after the first time, right?
2 days.
2 days. And did you use a condom the first time around?
Yeah.
And no problem that time?
I mean, I was drunk, though, too. And the second time, when I went to go, like 2 days later, I was sober.
Anything else different about the second time? Was it more uncomfortable situation?
She was uglier.
Was it an uncomfortable situation in any way?
I don't know. I mean, I've been thinking about it a lot for, like since that night. I mean, for those 2 days, I thought about it a lot. I mean,
was that your first time ever, the first time?
Yeah.
So that was your first experience?
Yeah.
And he thought about it a lot, and he kind of psyched himself out a little bit.
Hey, Chris, you need to know that sort of problem that you're describing, exceedingly, tremendously common for guys your age. In particular, the whole thing of putting the condom on and all that is a way to bring that all on. And if you're very anxious or overexcited or so many are in an anxiety-provoking situation, plus just being with a new person and a new activity that you're not used to. I mean, that's the way to make yourself lose an erection. I mean, that's just it. And I would dare say most young men experience this the first time out, or first couple times out.
Here's the cruel part about, and this is, by the way, why I know there's no God. He would have never built man this way, which is when you get nervous, you start sweating more. And when you realize you're sweating, that makes you sweat more. And when you're delivering a public address, when you're speaking to a bunch of people and you're nervous, you stutter.
You screw up. And
you screw up.
You get more nervous.
And then you start sweating more. Then you get these big marks on your armpits. And then you lose your erection. The more nervous you are, the more you screw up.
Yeah.
Well, why is that, Drew? I mean, why build that in to the human DNA? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here you are, the first or second time out of the chute. You've never been with a woman. Your mind is racing. You get the condom out, you lose the erection. Or you have to deliver that big speech to the board of the company, and you're not used to it, and you start sweating, your teeth start chattering, your knees start knocking. What is that? What purpose does that serve?
To weed out the weak.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean? If it had been a charging rhino coming at you, they'd charge right over.
Well, I guess in a sense, if situations that made you nervous made you sweat less and make you speak more clearly, then we'd never know. We'd never be able to separate the men from the boys.
That's right.
Hey, speaking of the charging rhino,
yeah.
You know what I always love? You're a doctor. Tell me if this exists. I don't think it does.
What?
You know when you watch those movies or even TV shows and someone runs out in the street and it's at night and a car goes flying around the corner and the headlights come at them and they show the person looking at the car and then they cut to the headlights and then they show the person again and then the headlights again, then the person again, then they get ran over?
Yeah.
And the explanation is always, they froze. Never happens.
Yeah.
You see headlights flying at you?
You do something.
Your ass goes flying the other direction.
Yeah.
It just does.
Yeah.
If I stood there or anybody stood there, you'd get run over twice a day.
Yeah.
Especially in New York.
That's right.
It's crazy here. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's some Hollywood myth, right?
As most things are.
People don't freeze.
Beth, what's going on?
Hi.
Hi.
They sweat, but they don't freeze.
First
All right,
of all,
Beth.
hello?
Yep.
Thank you. I just wanted to say, I know you guys get a lot of praise, but I thought a little bit more wouldn't hurt. You guys are great.
Thanks.
You're welcome. And I have some questions about the morning after pill, Dr. Drew.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I paid quite a bit of money, $42, to take 4 pills, but they gave me the entire birth control thing, and I was wondering if I can use the remaining pills.
In other words, you got the entire packet.
Yeah.
Was it overall?
Yes, it was.
And you're wondering if you can continue after having taken the 4 pills?
Yes.
You can.
I can.
You can, but you won't really be protected this month. It's next month that you should consider yourself contracepted.
Okay, because I heard you speak about the morning after pill quite often, and you just made it seem so easy to get. But I just want to let everybody know that if this happens to you on a weekend, all the clinics are closed, all the physicians are at work. At home. So I had to go to a walk-in.
Yeah.
And so that was quite unfortunate. I thought it was going to be easy to get.
What was that experience like for you?
Oh, I was stressing out. I called my hospital, and they said, come back on Monday. And I thought, that might be a little bit too late.
Here's the deal, Beth, and that it shouldn't be like that, in my opinion. I know in Washington State right now you can actually get these without a prescription, just walk into a pharmacy and get it. So it depends where you are.
What is the danger, by the way, in having this medication over the counter? Zero.
It's been well studied now. It looks like an effective way to do it. But by the way, Beth, it's another case in point to my opinion for having a primary care physician that you have a relationship with that you could call up, who would know who you are, who would say, sure, Beth, I'm going to be a reliable person. Your history is accurate. I'll call something in for you right now.
Why don't you give her your beeper number? Why don't we give your beeper number out over the
to
air?
America. That would work.
Oh, that would be huge.
I would take that thing,
throw it in the Hudson.
What's your other question, Beth?
If you don't mind.
If you're already taking the pill, let's say if I was already on birth control, would it be wise to go in and ask for the morning after just in case, or do you think that the pill will cover you?
The pill will cover you if you're taking it properly.
Okay.
Okay. If you haven't been taking it properly, it depends how you missed up your pill to determine whether you would double up or something like that if you're really concerned about it. But the pill taken properly is the most effective means of contraception you can get right now, other than sterilization and abstinence.
Drew, how long's the pill been around? Since the 60s?
Yes.
How many millions of women do you think have ingested thousands of metric tons of the pill?
Hundreds and hundreds of millions.
Hundreds and millions of pills over the last 30 years, right?
Yes.
We haven't figured out that it's safe to take a combination of the same substance to prevent a pregnancy.
I mean, after
the condom broke?
We have figured that out. It is safe.
But it's not safe enough to get without a prescription?
Well, the pill itself requires a prescription, too.
All right, stop making good points when I'm on a roll here.
It's all medication. I mean, it needs to be supervised.
Yeah,
but a morning after, I agree with you.
But the morning after doesn't need to, does it?
Well, there are some reasons you might want somebody to be watched carefully. People have thromboembolic disease, bad migraine history, that kind of thing. You'd think twice about using that. But again, properly educated people, or at least people that read the package inserts carefully, I think there's great benefit to be derived from having better access. Great, fantastic benefit.
Yes. Okay. And for those of you who have the satellite dish and want to catch us on Good Morning New York, you set your alarm for 4 a.m. and you can see us there. Fantastic.
We'll be on The View, day after tomorrow?
Well, we'll be on The View, and we're going to say hi to Ann on The View.
We do?
Ann Wilkins, the producer.
Yeah, thank you.
I know she enjoys that View.
Oh,
don't
right.
you?
I do.
Ann?
I really do. Actually, I watch it a lot.
Which one? Which lady do you like on that show? Star.
Chunky
like Star.
or oldie?
Star.
You like Star? She's the
Star's
big
all
black one. All right, we'll be nice to her.
Okay.
You think Barbara Walters is going to be there? Is that her show?
She's there sometimes. Shane's 20. Let's take one more call. Shane, what's going on there?
Yeah, I just wanted to go real quick. Dr. Drew, you seem really on today. I don't know. Like some days you're pretty down, but today you're, I don't know if you slept a lot.
It's overcompensation.
It's a little bit of compensation, and I had some rest today flying into New York. So actually, you know what it was? I had sleep last night with that extra hour.
Ooh.
Oh, man. I got 9 hours of sleep. I haven't had 9 hours of sleep in 2 months.
Yeah, I know.
Fantastic.
Anyhow, I have Raynaud syndrome where like my body reacts improperly to cold, and it just what's that?
It's a vascular sensitivity where vessels spasm in response to cold, basically.
Right. And I I have another problem where my eyes get really, really cold. Like if I study and it gets cold outside, and I went to my
eyes get.
What's that?
Your eyes get cold?
Yeah, they get really cold, and I can't really read anymore at that point. And
So you think you have Raynaud's of the eye?
The doctor said that's not very likely.
I've never heard of that. I have seen, interestingly, Raynaud's of the tip of the nose.
Yeah, I have that too, where my nose gets cold too.
Everybody has a little of that, right?
It's going to be pretty wild.
Yeah,
it just gets freezing cold.
It's rad, too.
Does it feel cold to the touch?
Yeah.
When you're, it turns white.
Even if it's 70 degrees outside?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Wow. Wish I had that during the summer. I had it on my ass.
What's
my
the
ass
question?
sweats a lot.
It's got a little bit of a coat, a coating.
That's right.
Fur coat.
Yeah, it's torture. It's like having a St. Bernard ass.
You haven't had a pruning in a couple of years. We gave you so much grief about it last time.
No. I did it like 6 months ago.
You did it?
I just don't brag about it.
You did it?
The only reason I let my friend do it 5 years ago or 8 years ago is because he paid me $10 and I needed the money back then.
Paid you?
Yeah, he paid me.
So I was wondering.
Did I tell you that?
That's disturbing.
I got friends who are weird. They pay people $20 to do
It's
stupid
like watching
stuff.
you do something obscene. Anyway, Shane.
Yeah. $20. We shaved my other friend Dave, who's hairy, like a truck driver. This guy's hairy, back, everything. My buddy Ray paid him $50. We had a shave Dave party.
Oh, my God.
We did it in the driveway of his apartment.
Oh, my God.
Had a hose and a 12-pack, and we shaved it.
I'm frightened. Shane, you have another question real quick?
Yeah, actually, I was wondering, is there any other thing that could be causing that, where my eyes get really cold? The doc said it wasn't Raynaud's, so...
There's nothing that comes immediately to mind for me. I'm just wondering if the Raynaud's is part of a more global systemic autoimmune syndrome, in which there can be eye involvement, though typically it's an inflammatory reaction, not something you would experience as cold. And I wonder if that experience of cold is going to evolve into something else. I definitely would see an ophthalmologist about it, probably an ophthalmologist at a tertiary center, university center, just because this is a very strange symptom.
Okay. So anyway, we paid this guy $50. The guy's got, hair on him like Ed Asner.
Yeah.
And he got in a pair of trunks, and he stood out in the parking lot and driveway, the guy's Ray's apartment, and we had a hose and shave cream, and everyone sat around. It was a party.
Now, all this stuff seems to revolve around Ray.
Ray
didn't do anything else with that hose, did he?
No. He'd grown out of that phase of his life. But we have a videotape. I'll show it to you.
Oh,
the funny thing is,
I want to see it.
It's like there's an Asian woman who lived beneath him in his apartment, and he accosted her and forced her to take a few swipes with the razor on Dave. You got to see us. It's real good. $50. $50. All right, we'll be back.
Call 1-800-LOVE-191 to broadcast your problems to the public. Loveline will be right back.
Hey there, it's Loveline. I want to thank everybody back home, producer Ann, Sherry, engineer Mike for making all this New York stuff possible for us. And I want to thank Jim, who's out here in New York and staying up till 3 o'clock, and he ain't on L.A. time.
Poor Jim.
He's actually on Hawaiian time.
Oh, well, that explains it.
Yeah, I don't know what time that is. All right, so we're plumb out of show. We'll see you tomorrow night from New York. And until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo.
This has been Loveline. The views expressed on Loveline are not necessarily those of the staff, the management, or the sponsors of this radio station. And are probably not the views of Westwood One Entertainment.
Loveline is produced by Ann Wilkins Ingold.
Now, please listen to this station longer.